Hello and welcome to game number 2 between TLO and TTOne. TLO will be playing as the blue Zerg on the right hand side, and TTOne will be playing as the red Protoss on the left hand side. The map is Scrap Station. Game number 1 went to TT1, so TT1, if he takes this one, he will be advancing, and TLO, if he loses this one, will be out of the tournament, as this is the losers bracket of the MLG 10 in Dallas. And we do see both players are heavily droning or probing at the moment, as TT1 does have one pylon at the top of his ramp, and as we follow this one probe across the middle of the map, I do want to apologize for some of the earlier technical difficulties. I wanted to do more replays, but I had some trouble with my internet, so I do apologize for that. And TT1 is coming across the map. He should be checking the natural expansion or going up, and he is going to check the natural expansion of TLO, as TLO has put down a spawning pool. The gateway as well as the assimilator is going to go down, and TLO doesn't actually have enough minerals to put down a hatchery just yet, and he's going to fight this probe, and the probe is probably going to fight him as well. They probably want to stay within the bounds of this box, and TT1 is going to be putting down one pylon. In the previous game, TLO did not leave the drone at the pylon, which allowed TT1 to cancel it and rebuild it. So I think this is why he's leaving one drone over there, to ensure that his opponent does not cancel the pylon, and thereby even forcing him a little bit, wasting a little bit more resources, as the Overlord is overlooking the entrance of the base for TLO. He does see the cybernetics core has gone down, and here we see one drone and one probe fighting it out, and a couple of Zerglings are going to be spawning very soon, and I think the probe is waiting for the shield to regenerate a little bit before he goes back into action, and the probe is going to fight, and the drone is almost dead. The drone is at 3 HP, one more hit would have been down. Very sneaky of TLO. Perfect timing there, just absolutely perfect. Oh man, these games are always so fun to watch, and the extractor has recently been going up for TLO, as a couple of Zerglings are making their way across the map. No metabolic boost just yet, nothing has been researched, and we do see the warp gate tech as well as one sentry is being chrono boosted. It's always a good idea to get that sentry right after the zealot, because you need the force field to prevent the Zerglings from getting inside. And he is making a second gas. This is the second gas, and the Zerg player is getting the hatchery. He does not have a second gas just yet. TT1 is also going to be making probably more units. It doesn't look like he's making more units. He's spending a lot of those probes on the gas, so he does not have the income that TLO has in terms of minerals. And some of these Zerglings are running very close to the base of TT1. As we take a look here, that is, I don't think that's Zergling proof, I think that's 2 spaces, and the Zerglings are actually working on the side destructible rocks over here, as 2 additional gateways are coming online at the moment, and the warp gate is being researched, and 2 additional sentries are going to come. Sentries are a good unit to get first, because that will allow you to store up some energy. And we can see the rally point for the gateway, very nice, going behind there. And we do see the queen is slightly off the creep, but that's alright. Metabolic boost is being researched, as well as a very early evolution chamber. Not that many units are out in the field, but he's already getting an evolution chamber, possibly for a spore crawler or a spore crawling. It's a spore crawler, I believe. And a couple of drones are being produced at the moment, and TT1 is opening up all those gateways into warp gates. In an army count shows 37 to 40, as some of these forces are going to come outside and try to take care of these Zerglings. Zerglings do fall back. The destructible debris is about 3/4 of the original HP, and a Baneling's Nest is going down for TLO as he's running back to the base. And it looks like TT1 is going to give chase, and he's also going to be expanding at the same time. No, he's not going to give chase. He does turn around with a lot of sentries. It's always a good idea to get sentries so early, because look at this sentry. He has 132 energy. That's 2 shields, that's 2 guardian force fields, and a couple of Zerglings surrounding a probe in the middle, and the probe does make it through, and the Zergling speed does finish, and the probe will no longer make it through. +1 armor is being researched for the Zerg player, as a forge is coming online for TT1. He will probably be getting some sort of upgrades for his army as well. And we see this is a really large gap. It will be difficult to defend from the Zerglings, and there's going to be Overlord and 3 force fields are not that great. Oh man, the Zerglings snuck through. A whole bunch of Zerglings snuck through. There is about 8 Zerglings who snuck through, and they're going to be inside the base. He does take down the Overlord, however, and the Zerglings are gonna try to kill some of these probes, but the probes are coming off the line, and it's also reducing the income of TT1 significantly for a little bit, and he's going to work on the Zealot over here. It does take down the Zealot, a couple of Zerglings still inside the base, and TT1 is going to have some trouble with a couple of Banelings, and ooh, very, very close to death, but not quite there just yet. And the Zerglings will be able to take down another sentry inside the base, have taken down one Zealot, one sentry, and the outside two Banelings blew up, almost killing two of those sentries, very, very close to death. And these probes don't really need to come off the land that often, as this is only 3 Zerglings, maybe a Zealot or a Stalker will be able to stop it, and 3 Banelings are being morphed in on the side. He really needs to prevent these Banelings from coming into this mineral line, and he is going to do just that. The Zealot and the... Ooh, he does cancel the Banelings, and the Zerglings are running free. Very, very smart play there by TLO. Wow, incredible micro from both these players. And we do see the Lair Tech as well, as Roachwarren is going up, and a whole bunch of Zerglings probably thinking he can get away with running past the defense once again, because he did force TT1 to spend a lot of energy on force field, so TT1 sentries are only at 3, 4, 2, 2, and 1 bar at the moment, because he actually saved quite a bit and he made him waste it. That was a little bit too much, I feel, but then he didn't have any production buildings to block off any part of this. It was a wide open space, and a whole bunch of Zerglings probably thinking the same thing, gonna try and run in possibly once again, and 2 Queens are spreading the creep. As we take a look at the income tab, both players are about even, slightly ahead for the Protoss player, as he does have a little bit more minerals, whereas the gas advantage does go to TLO, as he does have 4 geysers, whereas his opponent only has 2. And there's going to be some... If we take a look at the unit army count, 77 against 85, 85 for TLO, 77 for TT1, as he's warping in additional Stalkers, and we see 1, 2, whoa, that is 3 more gateways. Once again, there's going to be 6 gateways for TT1. He's probably thinking about doing a very, very aggressive push very soon, as 6 gateways is a lot of gateways. A whole bunch of Zerglings are streaming through the middle of the map, and we need to see some really beautiful force fields here, and he pops the Guardian Shield. Guardian Shield only works for non-melee attacks. They work for range attacks, and that's not going to help too much. That is 75 energy that just went poof. A couple of Zerglings running to the middle of the map, gathering with some of the Roaches and Banelings. This could be a really dangerous push, and let's see how TT1 deals with it. And we do see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gateways. Yes, 6 gateways, and the creep is being spread through the middle of the map as well. And it looks like the Stalkers are going to come over here. This is the perfect opportunity for those Zerglings to run by. There's absolutely nothing defending this, but of course TT1 is probably watching this screen, and we're going to see what's going to happen. I think the creep might be able to see that this side of the destructible box is being worked on. That means his opponent's attention is divided elsewhere. He could probably run in here if he wants. Army count at 104 to 114, relatively very, very close. It was actually 104 to 104 just a second ago. And this one probe will be able to start a huge army coming from the Zerg player, and TT1 does immediately turn back, and the Roaches are coming from the other side, but he's actually blocked over there. And wow, beautiful force fields, trapping a ton of Zerglings, killing a ton of Zerglings. Very, very nice play there by TT1. And if we take a look at the units lost tab, we do see that TT1 is ahead, as TLO is losing quite a bit more, and we do see the ground armor +2 is being upgraded, along with the glands for the Infestor, as well as the Burrow. And the players are standing on the opposite side of the rocks, as things are getting tense here in match number 2, because both players don't really want to be the first one to make that mistake. Income tab showing both players virtually the same right now, even though TT1 does have a couple of more of those probes. And we see a huge engagement here, and we'll see very, very beautiful force fields, and he does isolate a good number of the Zerg forces here, 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 and here. Very, very nicely done there by TT1, and he's going to try to press his advantage a little bit. A couple of Banelings blowing up in the back there, and the Roaches are focus firing on the Stalkers. Very, very nice, and he's going to fall back a little bit. And there's a lot of Zealots coming into the back, but the Zealots needs to get into the front, but he can't, and the Roaches are focus firing, whereas the Zealots are just stuck in the back, and he's going to take down the Overlord, no problem. Army size 120 to 110, swinging to the side of TT1 a little bit. And I think TLO is in a little bit of trouble here. He really needs more army, as a lot of Stalkers are coming. 6 more Stalkers are coming, and the Roaches are falling really, really quick to these Stalkers, as the Stalkers are 1-0, the Roaches actually 0-2. And the Queens and the drones, everything is going to be coming for TLO, as he tries to hold this one more time. And the drones are coming in with the Queens, and the Roaches are going to push forward. Army size at 106 to 101, even though it's really close, and we see a couple of transfuse on the Roaches there. And the Stalkers are coming in. Wow, that is a lot of units from TT1 as he's moving forward, and 2 spine crawlers are going to go down, and I think all of the drones are over here. What is going on? I think all 52 drones are at this station. There's absolutely no drones in the main base at the moment. I think it is a little bit of a panic moment for TLO as he's gonna lose. If he loses this game, he's gonna be out of the match and out of contention for the title of the championship. And a couple of very, very nicely placed force field there. Only one unit can fit through at a time there. So single file and we will focus fire you. That is what he's saying. A whole bunch of drones still moving back and forth. There's absolutely no income right now. Very, very low income for TLO as he is hurting. These drones are coming in trying to secure this game for him. Is it possible? The drones are going down left and right. Look at these drones dying. Red, orange, yellow, and space. Stalkers are going down as well. Zerglings and roaches trying to hold this desperately, but I think TT1 did come out an advantage, but that was an amazing hold by TLO, but TLO did fall further back as that attack did allow his opponent TT1 to expand to a third base. Particularly the army compositions right now, we see a couple of Zerglings, a handful of roaches, and 1 infestor versus a quite sizable force of the Protoss, but the upgrades is 1-0 versus 0-2 it looks like. Yep, as additional units are being pumped out, infestors are coming out. They will have enough energy for that fungal growth, but I don't think this army will be enough to destroy the units, but we'll see if he can do it with those beautiful force fields as the clear reconstitution is about to be done. He could burrow, but he cannot tunnel. He cannot move when he's burrow, so that is a little bit problematic. The army is at 118 to 84 at the moment, and a couple of Zerglings running across the map will sense that TT1 has expanded to the middle position. And I think the little one is hurting a little bit as he was able to not farm for quite a bit because TT1 did push forward and force his drones to come off the line to support his units. And a couple of Zerglings over here, and that should not be too big of a problem as the Protoss is going to be on the third base. And we see Neuroparasite is being researched. Maybe he expects his opponent to get Colossus, but it looks like his opponent is getting the Immortal instead. And the Overseer have spotted the structures for those double robotics facilities, I believe, in the middle of the map. A couple of roaches coming into the middle, trying to pick off some of the pylons, but that's still no problem. He's still not supply block. 150 to 100. It was almost a 50% army advantage. Ooh, if those force fields caught TLO, I think the game would have been over. But there's a lot more Zerglings currently being produced, but that is a ton of Zealots, man. That is 18, it looks like. Yes, 18 Zealots for TT1 as TLO is coming here with some roaches trying to catch him off guard, but TT1 is too fast. A couple of investors coming onto the field, and the investors are in the back, I believe. And this is a very tense moment. Both players not wanting to be the first one to make that mistake. Trying to plan out exactly what he wants to do. Trying to psych each other out. This is the waiting game. Army size at 168 to 119. Slight advantage. I mean, a huge advantage for TT1, but a slight catch-up by TLO. And he's going to move forward here. Army right now is a little bit weak. He needs to run away. He needs to get to infestors over here, possibly to do something. Wow, that is a huge army for Protoss. Very, very scary for any Zerg army. And the Zerg is falling back. There is an observer, and the observer is absolutely helping late to waste on these creep tumors. A couple of infestors are going to be able to come here, but that is an immense army. Army size at 182 to 125. And TLO might not make it here as he does throw down, looks like 3 fungal growth, but the Zealots are the ones in the front. They're not hurting that badly just yet. And he's trying to micro these units, and we see a huge confrontation here. Very, very good force fields on the side. The Overlords are trying to help a little bit, but I don't think that's going to be too great of a deal. 176 against 128 right now. Roaches versus mainly a very good mix of Zealots, Immortals.